Hey guys, Shawn of WebPianoTeacher.com here. We're going to talk about scales today, how they help, how to play them. When you were a kid, you probably practiced scales and were forced to do that, and they were boring, and you didn't really understand how they worked and how to apply them to the music. Well, today I'm going to show you that, show you how to play them easily and how they actually help and how to understand them. And it'll open your eyes to a whole new world of the language of music. So let's get started doing that today. And I'm going to put my earbuds in here and we'll get going. The first thing they help is your technique. It's not the most important thing, but they do help your technique. There's lots of finger exercises you can do to help for technique, but scales are one of those things that will help that. Technique just means how you get around on the piano, how well you are able to physically get around on the piano, and they really do help. Just as far as being able to play in any key, and also if you play them in octaves. It'll help you get a feeling of the entire keyboard and have a command of the entire keyboard instead of just knowing what to play in the middle of the keyboard, and then when you have to go out of that comfort zone, you feel uncomfortable. So scales will help you with all of those things, with your technique. But I think the most important thing it does is it helps you to understand the language of music. And I have that one kind of with an asterisk by it because that's the most important thing I think that scales do. Scales are the building blocks of the language of music. Whenever you play in a certain key, that scale are the letters in the alphabet that you will use to play chords, to play melodies in the right hand. In fact, all the music that you're playing, you may not realize it, but it's made from scales, the chords and the melodies. Scales are in there, bits and pieces of them kind of chopped up and mixed around, but they're in there. Think of it like this. When you were a kid, before you learned to read and write, you learned the alphabet. Well, that's the same thing here. The scales are like the alphabet of whatever key you're playing in for a particular song. And we're going to learn how to unpack those scales and understand and learn how they work in the music. Okay? And I mean, because why do them unless they're going to help what we really love to do, and that's to play good music. All right, so they help those things. And I'll just give you an example of that. Probably everyone knows a C major scale, you know. And I'm just going to play a thing I wrote real quick before we started this, just going up to here, and you'll kind of hear a scale in there. So you'll hear the melody going up. Take a listen. There's a little whole tone scale at the end. Isn't that cool? That's also a scale, kind of a jazz scale thing that's used. But we're going to look at scales. I'm just kind of showing off there a little bit, just to get your ears working, get your minds working, and to realize that everything is made of scales. And we're going to do the major scale yet, not the whole tone scale that I just did. And we're not going to do minor scales yet. We're just going to look at major scales. All right, so first we have the circle of fifths here. So sit back. This is going to be a lengthy lesson because there's a lot of material in it. But if you're really serious about learning this, you'll stick around. And I guess the ones who aren't won't. But here we go. For the ones who'll stick around for it. Circle of fifths with the white key scales. Now I call them the white key scales. Okay, so we have racial equality on our keyboard, right? We have black keys and white keys living in harmony, just like, what was that? Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder, right? Or Michael Jackson, one of those singing Ebony and Ivory. So we have the black key scales and the white key scales. And by white key scales, I just mean the scales that start on the white keys, like C, like D, E. So all of the white key scales, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them that we're going to look at. And the reason we're going to look at those 7 scales is because they have similar fingerings, okay? If you start on the black keys, those are different. The fingerings are different for those. So we're going to look at the white key scales, and all of them are sharp scales except for C and F. C has no sharps, no flats. F has 1 flat. The rest of them will be sharp scales. They have very similar fingerings. That's why we're going to take them as a group. Okay? So we start with a circle of fifths. The key of C has no sharps, no flats in it. And if you look at my circle of fifths videos on YouTube, I'll explain the circle of fifths in more detail. We're not going to do that here because we're focusing on the scales. But the key of C, no sharps, no flats. The key of G will have one sharp. It'll be F sharp. Key of D will have two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Key of A will have three sharps, F, C, G. Key of E will have four sharps, F, C, G, D. And the key of B will have five sharps, F, C, G, D, A. And the key of F will have one flat, okay? So those are how the scales are going to work, and they go in fifths. C, you go up a fifth to get to G, up a fifth to get to D, A. And that's how the circle of fifths works. As you go this way, you're adding sharps. One sharp, two sharps, three sharps, four sharps, five sharps. It's kind of a quick review of the circle of fifths. Going this way, we're doing flat. So one flat. We have other flat scales, and we actually have other sharp scales that we're not going to use because they start on black keys, okay? So hopefully we're there, and I know a lot of you say I talk fast. I just do. I can't have quite the intensity if I slow down, so you'll just have to listen fast or hit pause on your video if I'm going too fast for you. So here we go with the scales, all right? So anything I play in the key of C, these are the building blocks. This is the language of music for that scale, all right? And even if I make a scale out if I make some chords out of that scale, C, E, G is taken from the C. If I take a D chord, D, F, A, chords are built in thirds. E, G, B, F, A, C, G, B, and if I kept going, there'd be a D there, right? A, C, E, and so forth. Even the chords are taken from the scale. And the melodies that are in the right hand normally are just bits and pieces of the scales chopped up and mixed around with different rhythms, okay? So these are the building blocks. Let's get started. When you play in the key of C, the feel of it, the feel of doing this will be under your fingers if you've played the scale enough, and the things that you play in your music will have bits and pieces of what we're going to learn in this scale, and you'll remember it, and it'll feel natural, and it'll feel familiar is the thing that we want, okay? Familiarity, okay? The thing with playing the scale is is the fingering, okay? Everybody gets stuck on the fingering. Let me show you a secret, okay? Nobody ever talks about this, and probably after I say it, there'll be many videos made on it about it, and that's okay. But the fourth finger, if you remember where the fourth finger goes, then everything else will fall into place. That's the great secret. And my piano teacher, the best piano teacher I ever had, who was a student of Bartók, his name was, his Bartók taught his teacher. Giorgio Shandor was a student of Bartók, and my teacher, Dr. Jack Roberts from the University of North Texas, was his student. And he taught me that the fourth finger, if you remember where it goes, everything else will fall into place. Instead of going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, you ever done that? And then you do your left hand, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and so forth. That's, it works, but that's pretty boring, and it's a lot to remember. You can get lost easy on it. So just remember where the fourth finger goes. I'll show you how that works. Let's take the right hand first. Let's take a scale probably you've played before. And by the way, the C scale is the most difficult scale to play. It is the most difficult. Why? Because all of them are white keys, and it's so easy to get lost because they all feel the same. If you have black keys, they kind of guide your fingers. So the easiest scale to play, by the way, you won't believe it, is the scale of B, because you have the black keys in there that guide your fingers. You can't really mess that up because it only works one way. But the key of C, a C scale, it's so easy to substitute a wrong finger anywhere, and then you're all messed up for the whole thing. Okay? So the fourth finger is going to go on B. What I put on this side is where the fourth finger goes. Here's the scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Those are the notes, okay? No flats, no sharps. Easy enough, right? It's all the white keys, okay? On the right hand, the fourth finger goes on B. So if I start out 1, 2, 3, I'm not going to put it here because I know it goes on B. I'm not there yet. So what do? Thumb under, right? 1, 2, 3. Do I go thumb under again? No, because my fourth finger is ready to do B. Now, I'm not going to use my fifth finger yet because I'm not done. We're going to do these scales in 2 octaves, not 1, because you really don't get anything out of playing on 1 octave. You just don't. So right off the bat, we're going to go 2 octaves. Okay? Now stick with me. This will really help you if you'll stick with us and practice. All right? The ones who learn to play are the ones who can pay attention and stick with it and don't give up. So hope I have a lot of you guys doing that. All right, so C, D, E, 1, 2, 3. Come under with your thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where the fourth finger goes. Now I come under again. Come under again. Because there's the B. And you'll find as you start playing it that that's the only way it works is to go 3, 4, 3, 4, and then you save your pinky for the end of the scale. So you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, pinky at the end. Now, come down. Start with the fifth finger. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. Cross over with your third finger. Then you cross over with your fourth finger because that's the B. That's where your fourth finger goes. 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay? So you start with the fifth finger. 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. So a lot of scale stuff is just 3 fingers and then 4, 3 fingers and then 4, 3 fingers and then 4, over and over. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm just remembering where that fourth finger goes. Playing it evenly. Play it as even as you can play it. Left hand. I'm speeding up at the end. I shouldn't do that. The left hand, fourth finger goes on D. Okay? So C, D. There's the fourth finger. And the left hand will be a mirror image of the right hand, okay? Because it's all white keys, all the fingerings are the same. So you're going up with the left hand is like coming down with the right hand, all right? Why does the left hand have more trouble playing scales, even those of you who are left-handed like me? Because the left hand doesn't normally have to play scale stuff. So when it all of a sudden has to, we feel all messed up. But this will help your left hand have confidence and strength and get the mobility that your right hand has. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. There's the D, so that fourth finger comes over. 1, 3. See, it's real easy to mess up and put a wrong finger down. So I was almost tempted to start with the B scale down here, but I didn't want to, I think it's better to start with no flats, no sharps. 1, 3, going 2 octaves because 1 octave is not really helpful. 1, 2, 3, come under. 1, 2, 3. There's the D. There's my fourth finger. Fourth finger on D. Fourth finger on B for the right hand. That's L for left hand, R for right hand. Okay? Got your scale? Be able to do it in right hand alone, left hand alone. All right, not great with my right hand, my left hand. Now we put them together. Oh, and then it'll all fall apart, won't it? Well, not if you've done it enough hands separately. Then give it a try. Tough because you can easily put in a wrong finger and then end up and then having to make up stuff to be able to finish. So that's normal. I still get kind of, when I'm doing both hands together, you can get lost. Now, after you do both hands 2 octaves, this may take you several weeks. I know I'm going over in a couple minutes, but it may take you several weeks till you get to this point. Now, let's stretch it out. Let's try to go 4 octaves. Start down here. Now I'm going to come down. See, I got lost. There we go. See, it happens to even me. Right? I don't play my scales a lot like I should anymore. So 4 octaves, and then later you can... try to go a little faster, and then do it in another key. A little advice on the technique of playing the scale. A lot of you do this. Watch. Hump. You hump. You do a little hump with your hand. You do that. To get that thumb under, you can't do that, guys, because you can't go fast doing that. You've got to turn your hand at an angle a little bit. I know I'm not in front of the piano here, but a little bit this way. See that? A little bit that way, a little bit of an angle, so I can just slip the thumb into there, and there's no bump. There's no bump, no humping up like that. All right. Coming down is a little easier not to have a bump in there, but no bumps, no. Okay, don't have humps in your scale like that. Have it straight as you can get it on your technique. All right? Maybe some people used to put, the Russians would put a little penny on top of their coin, on top of their hand to see if they could keep it up there. Small movements, small motions, as small as you can make it, makes great technique. The more you move and flop around, the worse your technique will be because it's not efficient. Left hand, sorry about the coughing in the mic there. You get a sip of water and we'll continue. Excuse me. Left hand, same thing. You'll angle this way a little bit. Coming down. Very good. Okay. Now, on the next scale, 1 sharp, it's the key of G, okay? So we're starting on a G. We're not starting on C now, we're starting on G, okay? So this is gonna feel, it's gonna feel exactly like the C scale felt, okay? You're gonna have a sharp in there, and it's gonna be a little easier to play because you have a black key to guide your fingers, okay? Yay. Hang with me. Starting on a G. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, right? You say, well, why is there a sharp in that one and not in that one? Because the scale is built out of half steps and whole steps. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. A half step is the very next note. A whole step is always skipping a key in between, whether black or white. So if I do that formula starting on a G, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, that's where I end up with my sharp. And I go up a fifth to D, and I do the same formula. Go up to A and do the same formula. I go up a fifth. See, we're going up by fifths, like the circle of fifths tells us to. And we add sharps because that's the way it works out, okay? Even the sharps are in fifths. F sharp, and I add a C sharp in the next one, and we're adding a G sharp. Those are in fifths as well. So there's tons of fifths in the circle of fifths, okay? But G feels the same way. Where does the fourth finger go, though? Here's my chart for you. Right hand, F sharp is where your fourth finger goes. It'll only work out that way. And it's more difficult to mess that one up because you have the black key. You kind of feel it coming there and you know where you are. It's 2 octaves, left hand. Where does the fourth finger go? A on the left hand. A, there it is. But the string of numbers is the same. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Do you remember that? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can just remember where the fourth finger goes. A. A. Angle the hand. Get all the bumps out. No bumps. No humps in your scale. Staying small. Hands together. I'll go hands together. 4 octaves. See if I can make it. Let's see. I don't play scales much these days, so. Ah! I got lost. All right, I even kind of cheated in the middle. Those of you might have caught that. Because I tend to play what I want to when I'm playing music and scales. And for me to go back and stick to a rigid fingering for these scales is catches me by surprise. So even I have to work on them. I'm going to have to go on and practice them there. Okay, so Uh, work on that. Get it. Fourth finger goes on A on the left hand, F sharp right hand. Now, the third scale we're going to do is the key of D, and we're going around the circle of fifths. There it is again. And by the way, if you want this sheet, I'll post it in the comments on my Facebook, and you can pull the sheet off, okay? And if you really like all my stuff, you know, get a membership to webpianoteacher.com, because that's how I'm able to do anything online, because it's the way I make a living. So thank you guys for sharing this video and getting a membership to webpianoteacher.com and getting all the really good stuff I put on the site. But here we go, the key of D. 2 sharps. So we have the F sharp that we had up here, but we're adding C sharp now. So 2 sharps. So even another key to help us guide our fingers. Right hand first. D, E, F sharp. I'm going to come under with my thumb. Why aren't I going to use the 4? Because the 4th finger goes on C sharp. So I'm not going to use it yet. So I have to come under with my thumb. I have to. 1, 2, 3. There it goes. There's a C sharp with my 4th finger. Okay, so I have 4. On the left hand, which always gets me, which probably always gets you, the 4th finger goes on E. There, right off the bat, E. 4th finger on E. Hands together. I got my hand, the wire's getting in the way here. Let's try it again. There we go. Just had to give that a try. That's how I used to play them in college. It's actually easier for me when I get going faster. When you go slower, there's more time to mess up. So there's the D scale. All right. So when you play in the key of D, you feel those notes. All of those notes are under my fingers for the D scale, okay? It helps. It really does help. Technique, okay, yeah, that helps. But feeling and knowing where the notes are and that feeling of where the black keys are helps when you go to play any song. Not just classical music, everything. Okay, people think, oh, classical music, scales are just for the people who are playing classical music. No, sir. They're everywhere. And your eyes will start to be open to that fact once you really understand these things. 4th scale, the key of A. How many sharps? Well, let's look at our circle of fifths. C is neutral, so 1 sharp, 2 sharp, 3 sharps. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. 1 sharp, 2 sharp, 3 sharp. 4 sharp, 5 sharp, 6 sharp. We're only going to go to 5, though, today. A, where's the 4th finger? G sharp. A, B, C sharp. There it is on G sharp. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can do this string of numbers if you want to, but I really think it helps just to know where that 4th finger goes. Now, a lot of times during your music playing, you'll play these scales, but they won't use necessarily the fingers that you're doing when you're just playing dry, you know, scales up and down. But the point is to get used to where those sharps are, where the black keys are versus the white keys for each key, okay? So that's the scale of A. The 4th finger goes on G sharp. Left hand. And don't put your hands together until your left hand's really comfortable all by itself. Then you can put them together, okay? Because when you play, the left hand will really tend to depend on the right hand, and that's really normal, okay? For the left hand to depend on the right. The piano is a right-handed instrument, it really is, for the most part. But you want to have the left hand have some independence there as far as being able to play technically, okay? Technically getting through the scale. So 4th finger on B. There it is again. Watch your sharps. Keep your hands still. I'm not going to put a quarter on my hand because I know it would fall off because I'm not very steady these days on on my scale stuff. And you may say, well, Shawn, why don't you play your scales anymore? Well, I have 4 kids and, you know, that takes up a lot of time. But I could get them back probably in a day or 2 if I wanted to. But I've played them so long over my whole life, they're really in me, and I know them well as far as understanding them, which is what the point of this lesson is, for you to understand them, not just be able to play them. So that's the key of A. Fourth finger goes on B, and I'll do it 4 octaves. There's other ways to play them. Did you know that? Well, I should have went up and then come down. It's called contrary motion. There's other ways to play them. You can also play them in thirds, sixths, and tenths, you know, and so forth. And maybe I'll do that one day. But for now, what we're doing here is probably all you guys will need. If you're just, you know, people who like to play the piano and want to understand scales. Fifth scale is the key of E, and that's going to have 4 sharps in it, right? So what are we going to have? F, C, and G. Notice the sharps, we're just adding one every time. F, here we added C, added G, added D, added A, or added D, I'm sorry, in the key of E. So E, there's the notes. Fourth finger goes on D. On the left hand, fourth finger goes on F sharp. Okay? My teacher used to have me play them as fast as I could go, hand separately. Even if I was, you know, messing up, it would just finally you know, be a good workout for your hand. And even though there may be some holes in there for a while, it'll start to tighten up after a while, and that hand separately really helps on these. Okay, so got that, F sharp on the left hand, D sharp on the right for the fourth finger. Okay, the key of B, my favorite one because it's the easiest one, I think. You got to watch your left hand. Let's talk about the left hand in a minute, because the fingering is a little bit different on this one, even though it's a white key scale. Okay, look in the right hand. The right hand's normal. Fourth finger goes on A sharp. Let's take a look. B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, D sharp, A sharp, B. Now, two octaves. Okay, that one feels awesome. It just really falls under the fingers. Now, left hand, though, it's a little different because, I wrote a B there, because you have to start with your fourth finger. This is only left hand. Okay? Just the way the black keys fall, this one's different. All the rest of them have been, you know, easy peasy, you know, going down the line. But now, the left hand is different on this one. You start with your fourth finger. Now, once you get started, your fourth finger will be on F sharp. You only use that fourth finger to start with on the B. Watch how it works out. 4, now, 3, 2. Now I'm going to use my fourth finger on F sharp. There it is again, fourth finger, coming down. And then I use 4, okay? Really, some people will actually start on their thumb and then just cross over. But really, a lot of people just start on their fourth finger, because you got to have something to play this note to get started, and 4 will work for that B. Then you use F sharp from then on. Then when you finish, you'll end on 4. So 4 on the B, and then from then on F sharp on 4, and then you'll see. So just remember that on the left hand. Put your hands together. After you get started, it just feels normal. Then I end like that, okay? Really easy to keep your hand steady on that one, because of those black keys guiding your fingers along the way. The last scale is a flat scale. You say, why are we only doing one flat scale, Shawn? Well, that's because it's a white key scale, and we're doing all the white key scales because they're similar in fingerings. And F, the key of F, has 1 flat. It starts on a white key, but the other flat keys will start on black keys. There's an exception, but we won't get into that right now. Let's just stick with the fact that we're playing all the white key scales. We're starting on F, and I'm saying that because there's a key called C flat, where you actually will start on a B. Now everything's flatted, but guess what? You already know how to play it because it's the same keys that you play when you play B major. You could play it as a B scale. If I said, play me a B scale, man. All right, now play me a C flat scale. It's the same thing, the same tones, it's just a different way of notating it, okay? So put that aside, all that what I just said. Let's start on F and learn this flat key scale. It is one flat, and it has B flat. And after this lesson, if everybody likes this, we'll do the sharps, the black key scales, which will include the some more sharps and flats. But you know, there's this many left, right? We did 7. There's 5 black key scales, and essentially you will have learned all the scales physically, how to play them after we do that. If you guys want, we'll do another video on that. Let's see how everybody responds. But F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Now here's how this works on the right hand. You start on B flat with a 2 finger. You might want to write this down. I don't know. 2. I'm sorry. Why did I say that? That's when you play a B flat scale. You start with a 2. We're not doing that yet. We're doing an F scale. My fault. We start with our thumb. And you end, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So notice that right off the bat, you use your 4th finger. You don't go 3 first and then 4. It goes 4 first. It's the reverse of what we're used to. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. All right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's where the 4th finger goes, on B flat. I'll talk about the F in a minute right there. It goes on B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because you can't go 1, 2, 3 under with your thumb because the next note's a black key and that doesn't work at all. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 under. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th finger goes on B flat. Let's play the scale. Whoa, I got to F and I'm on my 4th finger. How does that work? Because that's the top of the scale and that's just where the finger falls. F. So at the very top of the scale, I'll do an F 1 time with the 4th finger at the top. Every other time going up and going down, the 4th finger is only on B flat, except for the top of the scale where you come down, except for the peak of the mountain. 4 on B flat until I reach the top. Let's do it 3 octaves or 4 octaves. 4, 4. But right here, because I'm going to come down, I'm going to use it 1 time at the top, 4th finger. Then I come down. So what determines fingerings on scales is where the black keys fall. You got to do whatever will work best, and it's where the black keys fall. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 to start out with. This scale is going to feel different. This scale will feel different in your right hand, so you got to take care with it and work on it a little bit because it's different than these. It'll feel different. Left hand, no difference, normal, nothing. So these two, so let's do that first. F, G, there's a 4th finger. A, B flat, 4. So there we go. 4th finger goes on G, the B flat just falls right in there, no big deal. F scale, hands together. I'll do it down here. So there's our F scale. So all of these scales will feel the same in your hand except left hand key of B and right hand key of F. When you start this scale, you know, we talked about it already. And when you start the F scale, okay, or at the top of the F scale, which we talked about. So those will feel a little different. All the rest of them will feel the same. So those are the scales. What do you do with those now? Realize this lesson, you know, is lasting quite a while, but I don't expect you to have these down while we're talking here. This will take weeks, months, and even years to really have them under your fingers if you know you don't have a whole lot of practice time. Start out with just doing 2 octaves. Don't do 1 octave. That doesn't really help anything. 2 octaves. Hand separately. Play the C scale, hand separately, 2 octaves, left hand and right hand. Don't neglect the left hand, okay? Maybe even start with it to make sure you get enough time with it. After you can play 2 octaves hand separately, try them together, okay, in 2 octaves. Then try 3 octaves, and then maybe try 4. And the reason we do it in 4 octaves is because it gives you a feel of the whole piano, the whole keyboard under your command, instead of just a small part in the middle, okay? Know your whole instrument. Really good guitar players don't just play down, at the near the neck. They can play up high too, all right? So same thing on our instrument, on the piano. We really need to play the extremes, high and low. And playing in 4 octaves gives you the chance to do that. So let me know if you like this lesson. Please share it. That's the best thing you can do for me. You can like it too, but sharing it is the best thing for me. And check out webpianoteacher.com, and I have all the really good stuff on there that everybody wants to play. So that's on there if you can afford to do it. If not, that's okay. And I'll talk to you guys later, and hope you have a great week. Talk to you later.